Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This watch doesn't want to stay up. This is a review of the Vertex M100. This is a revival watch. Vertex is a classic UK-based brand they had Swiss Made watches, and this is a revival, which is again a UK-based brand with a Swiss Made watch. Interesting timepiece in terms of the origin of how it came to be, again, the way that it is sold. But what's not weird or strange or anything is just the appeal of this watch. This is how should I say it? A nicer version than there ever was in the past military watch. Vertex was one of a couple companies, or a dozen I guess, that made watches at the end of World War II for the British government. For the military. These were used for, I want to say, a decade or two. And the brand then died during the quartz crisis. And the relative, the guy that ran the brand, brought it back. And here you have the first piece. It is the M100. My absolute favorite thing about this watch is how simple, easy to read, easy to wear, easy to enjoy the watch is. It's not particularly cheap, and it is uncommon. So it is a luxury watch, but it's meant to feel like a good old tool watch, and that's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of watch collectors that enjoy military watches, and there's a good reason why. One, they're not particularly pretentious. Two, they were all about utility and functionality. Three, there's also a lot of great history in there. The Vertex M100 is, I want to call it unique and definitely different than your average military watch, and I'm trying to show you here because the hour indicators are actually cut out of solid pieces of loom and applied. In the past, this would have been done with paint, and here there are solid pieces. It's a simple thing, but it's remarkably, well, I guess remarkably effective when it comes to not only making the watch legible, but also look like $1,000,000. Let's put it on. Steel and 40 millimeters wide. It's very reasonable and quite decent in its versatility and ability to fit into a lot of different situations. The watch comes with two straps, and they're pretty basic. It's a black leather strap and this great gray NATO strap. I have to say that when it comes to the straps, they're comfortable and they make sense, but they're about as basic as you can get in terms of the style. So if you like this watch and you are lucky enough to have one, chances are you're going to want to swap out the strap as quickly as possible to give the watch a little bit more personality. But if you're kind of a discreet guy that likes being under the radar, the gray NATO strap or the black leather one that comes with it are going to be just fine. Inside the watch is a manually wound ETA movement that just has the time as well as the subsidiary seconds. I think in the future the brand's going to focus on automatic movements, but for the first one, the M100, they really wanted to focus on tradition, and the traditional watches from the World War II era were of course manually wound and not automatic. So this watch comports with that. Without having a date to set or anything complicated, I have to say, you pick this watch up, you set it to the time on your phone, and you're ready to go until you have to wind it again. So when it comes to convenience, I think if you have just the time only, a manually wound watch is going to be okay. Again, there are a difference of opinion among collectors as to whether or not you want a manually wound watch or an automatic, and that exists. But for me, I'm an automatic guy that makes exceptions, I'll say once in a while. I have to say that living with this watch, I've enjoyed its really main focus on being functional, but also having a good attention to detail. The brushed steel case, sapphire crystal, attractive dial, and all around high-end elements are something you'd expect not only from this price point, but for the fact that the guy that started the brand again went to Switzerland and tried to have all the best people make the watch. And in a sense, I think that he succeeded. Again, it is an expensive product for what it is, but the attention to detail is definitely high, and I think this is an overall very successful product. I'll talk more about the buying process and things related to the history on the full review. Price for the Vertex M100 is 2,500 British pounds, and it's also a limited edition of, I actually forget, I want to say a couple hundred pieces. That would be, I have to look. I should have remembered these things, right? But it's also good to try to hunt. I want to to say 300 watches or something like that. This is number 292. Anyways, there it is. You can see the full review in aBlogtoWatch soon. Thanks.